Are you ready, Ron?
I'm ready to go. Yeah.
Any questions? Okay, cool.
And here comes the audio in 3, 2, 1. You're live.
Welcome to the Jeremiah Show. Dr. D, how you doing on this really nice sunny day in Santa Barbara, California?
It's beautiful. Doing great. Keeping busy, obviously, here on the Jeremiah Show.
Well, before we get to our special guest today, I really want to tell a real quick story, a follow-up, part 2 to a story I told a few weeks ago. If you recall, my mom had her first vacation in many, many years.
Oh
and
my gosh.
we went and sat at the honor bar outside on the street there. And then we were taken aside, and really great service by a server there, Tamara Raddick. And Tamara, at the end of the meal, started talking to her. And I picked up a slight accent, and I said, where are you from? And she says, I'm from Serbia. So excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what are you doing here? And she says, I'm here to be a musician. That's my dream and my love in life. And I came here to do what I could to become a musician. Well, she had come over right before COVID. So she was at home the last year and a half. She couldn't afford, when she got here, because she didn't work, to get her guitar over here. So I went home. I just started thinking, what great service and what a great story. And we know we have so many musicians on the show. And so I put out a call to a friend of mine, Adam Phillips. He runs he's the founder of the Folk Orchestra of Santa Barbara. He put a post out on Facebook. Within a couple hours, everybody jumped in and had different instruments to offer her. She also told me she got really a little bit down and depressed because she couldn't play music, and that's what she was here for. She didn't have her instrument. So all these great musicians jumped online. A gentleman named Benjamin Breacher donated a Strathmore and a Stratocaster, Strathmore. I don't have any guitars. I don't know. Anyway, he donated a very nice guitar with an amp, and another gentleman jumped on, and he's going to put new strings on it, and we're going to give it to her. So I just wanted to thank the people out there. I love these kind of stories.
Yeah.
It's such a nice story. Everybody jumped in, the musicians, and what a great community worldwide, of musicians helping musicians. And now she'll have a guitar to play.
Yeah. Not to steal from somebody else, but that's like one of those, what they call a tell me something good story.
Yeah.
And at the end of that story that they tell, the host always says, that's what it's all about. And that is what it's all about.
Yeah, I agree.
That's
so
cool.
I just wanted to thank once again, Adam Phillips, the Folk Orchestra of Santa Barbara.com, John Mooy, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but it's Mooy, and Benjamin Breacher. Thank you all so much, and everybody else who jumped in there.
Yes.
And Tamara, make some good music.
Oh yeah. We want to. We will probably end up having her on the program somewhere. down the road.
With her music for sure.
Oh, that would be cool.
All right, let's get to our very special guest today. He's an extremely gifted songwriter, originally from St. Catharines, Ontario. He's Ron Sexsmith. By the way, that's Canada, Dr. D.
Yes, I kind of gathered because I didn't recognize it as part of the continental United States.
Well, I think this should make our own co-host and our relentless Canadian promoter, Mike Gormley, very, very happy.
I think so.
So we have Ron on. He's all things Canada, Mike. So shout out to you, Mike Gormley. And yeah, I can book Canadian artists too, Mike.
and to Ron, welcome. And hey.
Well, I've still got a couple more things, so don't come in yet, Ron.
All right, hold on.
Be patient, and then it's all about you. Ron's songs are both earnest and playful, joyful and sorrowful. He's a masterful songwriter, Dr. D, an incredibly gifted musician. And I was thinking today that it feels like whenever I've been in love, there's a Ron Sexsmith song somewhere. and it almost gives you that impulse of almost like I've got a seizure or something. I'm like, it's a wrong sex. I should have a girlfriend around me or somebody around me that I love. He was named Songwriter of the Year at the 2005 Juno Awards, very prestigious Juno Awards, and what a great accomplishment. Well deserved. Ron Sexsmith began releasing records of his own material when he was at the age of 21, 1985.
Wow.
Yeah. Artists who initially inspired him to become a musician have given him praise. Now, the people that he admired, the people that he followed, that he looked up to, he's won acclaim not only from the critics, but from fellow artists like Paul McCartney, Elvis Costello, and John Hiatt. Borrowing a quote from another writer that sums Ron Sexsmith's career up nicely, this writer says, he has a talent for catchy but graceful melodies that's matched by his skills as a lyricist, drawing compact sketches of love and the trials of everyday life that are heartfelt and compassionate, even when he's being witty and warm without becoming overly sentimental. He's our very special guest today. Please help me welcome music icon, Ron Sexsmith. Okay, Ron.
Hey, how are you doing? How am I supposed to follow that?
Well, maybe you could play us a song.
There you go.
Sing to us, Ron. We love it.
That's fine.
Okay.
Now, the Juno Awards, just real quick, they are the Canadian equivalent of the Grammys here in the States.
Oh, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just for clarification. Okay. And again, congratulations on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd been nominated about 4 or 5 times prior, and I kept showing up and not winning, so I just think it's they had to give it to me at some point.
Oh, come on.
Just for showing up, right?
You're so modest. You should have got all the others that you were nominated for, in my humble opinion.
Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, that was a big one for me, though, because I've won a few other Junos that were, one was acoustic roots album, and I beat out all these people who actually played roots music. I don't really play roots music, and I felt I shouldn't have got that one, so this was one that I mean, the songwriting is key for me. It's a big thing, right?
Yes, and you're so good at it. The Lions, I want to take you all the way back to the Lions Tavern. You were 17. Let's go way back to when you were 17 in your hometown, the Lions Tavern. Is it still there, by the way?
I've just actually I heard from a friend that it's not there anymore. I mean, I think the building is still standing. It might even still be some sort of bar, but I did from about 81 until 86. I played there fairly regularly, about twice a month. I would do Thursdays to Saturdays, and for a while I was really kind of packing them in. The last year or so, I'd sort of worn out my welcome, and no one was coming anymore. So it was time for me to get out of St. Catharines. But it was a good stomping ground, place to learn and deal with drunks and stuff like that.
And you were 17, though. My question, I was curious when I read that about your bio. That is there a different age limit for playing in a bar or being in a bar in general, or did you lie about your age?
I wasn't even allowed to be in a bar then. I had to get special permission from the Ontario government, almost like a doctor's letter, that if the police showed up, I could show them that I had, and actually when I wasn't on stage, I was supposed to sit in a room by myself, with a dartboard and wait for my next set, which they sort of slacked off on that pretty quickly, but it was the kind of thing where sometimes if a cop would come in, they would hide me sometimes, or I was just a kid, so all these people were kind of taking care of me.
Yeah. Well, how did they discover you, or how did you discover them? How did they? What did you go in and say? I'd love to play for you. I'd love to play on your stage. And it sounds like they did a lot for you because they loved you so much, your music. And
well, my older brother Don was playing there in a covers band, and when I was 16, they would sneak me in to watch him, and I remember the waitress would bring me, Cokes or whatever, and I just graduated from high school, and I literally had no prospects. I didn't have a job. I didn't know what I was going to do, and I was trying to make some money to buy Christmas presents, and so my brother Don suggested that I could play a few weekends at the Lions. And so I went down and auditioned for the owner, and and I got the gig. The only thing is, I had to get permission, and I wrote to the government. And I guess the first 2 years I played there, I was underage. The cool thing is, in Buffalo at the time, we lived really close to Buffalo. the drinking age was 18. So some nights after my show, we'd get in a car and, head over across the border, because the bars are open till 3 then over in Buffalo. And, and I could drink over there. But anyway, it was a really important thing for me to do, just to get up the nerve to be on stage and sort of, because I was actually terrible. I couldn't sing. I couldn't play a guitar. I was really just learning.
Why did they call you the one-man jukebox then? It sounds like you could play pretty well, or you know a lot of songs.
Well, no, it was mostly because I was really eager to please. I was like a performing monkey, and it really was. And people would come to me and say, "Hey, I really love this song. Can you learn it and play it next week?" So I would actually go to the record store, buy the record, learn it, and play it. And and I knew the basic chords, but back then there wasn't Google or anything. So sometimes I would have the lyrics completely wrong. I would mishear everything and think some really embarrassing things. But but I'd learned so many songs, and I think, the journalist that called me the one-man jukebox, I think he had come down pretty early on in my, residency. I think he maybe the 3rd week, because there was already a buzz happening. And but yeah, at that time it was all covers. So I guess, in that way, I was like a jukebox, right?
Well, when did you decide, what made you decide to pursue a life of music? And then also, when did you start really songwriting, which you've got such a gift for? Which one came first for you?
Well, I wanted to be a songwriter even back then. And I'd been in a few bands in high school. And we had terrible songs. Like, we had a song called Prehistoric Lady, that was just like,
that was your song?
Yeah, because we'd heard a song on the radio called Evil Woman by ELO, and we thought they were saying medieval woman, medieval woman.
Uh-huh.
And so we thought, well, let's write one called Prehistoric Lady, kind of in that vein. But I really didn't know how to write songs. But every now and then I would have a song and I would try it out at the Lion's Tavern, and it would just not go over at all. People would just talk through it. So I never really started writing songs until I turned 21 and my son was born. And that changed everything. I wrote a song called Speaking with the Angel. And for the first time in my life, I felt like a songwriter, the way I'd always read about songwriters, how they get all these ideas, and all this. And it hasn't really stopped since then. I've just been writing and trying to get better at it.
So the love for your newborn son, opened up almost a library, of a catalog of emotions that you turned into these wonderful songs for over the years that we've all enjoyed. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it was all the changes that was going on, because I went to become a tree planter up north when I was 20, and again to try to make money so I could pay for a recording session. Back then it was so expensive. And while I was up there, I got a girl pregnant. I'd never even had sex before, and all of a sudden I have a baby on the way, and we really didn't know each other. So it was a lot of changes, a lot of, and I couldn't tell my parents. I remember I was all freaked out about everything. And I went to Quebec, where she lived. I was watching the calendar. I knew the baby was supposed to arrive at this time. And I got into Quebec the night before my son was born. She actually went into labor as soon as I got there. And all of a sudden I have a son. So all these crazy changes that were going on in my life. And I think partly because I feel I did the sort of right thing, trying to show up, to be a father, that I always thought in a cosmic way, I was sort of given this gift of, because I really didn't know what I was going to do with my life at the time. I had no, I didn't have any skills at all. So.
So you feel like that you got this gift because of showing up and doing the right thing, and
I know it sounds crazy, but
I love that. I love that thought, that idea.
Yeah, well, I always felt that, and and I'm a guy that, I was born on Elvis Presley's birthday, so I always, even before I was writing songs, I was thinking, well, surely I have to be a rock star if I was born on Elvis Presley's birthday. So you hang on to all these crazy notions of things, and or the universe things that probably have no effect at all. But when you're struggling to get somewhere, you hold on to anything you can, right?
Would you consider yourself a spiritual person?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Not a religious person so much, although I was the only kid in my family that went to church. I went every Sunday because I was just curious and I liked the songs. We would sing songs. And I
What
liked
was your favorite? What was your favorite in church? Do you remember?
Well, they were Sunday school songs, so I mean, I don't even remember what they were, like Go Tell It on the Mountain or something, things like that. And yeah, honestly, it's funny though. I remember we had this singer, the guy that would lead the church in song. Years later, when I got to high school, he was the auto body teacher. It's like, well, it was just interesting. Wow, he was a Sunday school guy, and he teaches. It sort of gave me this feeling. No, you could do a number of things. You don't have to do just one thing. So
right, he was out of place, but you'd seen him as this.
Yeah,
like almost a star, like a figure on stage in your class.
I don't think he remembered me from Sunday school, but I certainly remember him.
Yeah. Do you get in this? Do you think about? Do you miss the club and those days when you were just learning the music and it was all fresh and new to you? And do you think back on that now? When you're performing and you've got this worldwide fan base and are
well. I do miss aspects of it. I remember it was the very first time in my life where I ever felt popular, or ever felt like girls were noticing me for the first time. And I was getting invited to parties. But then I realized, well, I'm getting invited to parties because they want me to play for free. They want me to bring your guitar over. And then, so I felt after a while like, oh, I see, I get it, But no, I mean, there's certain things. I I definitely miss being younger. I'm 57 now, and I don't like it at all. I don't like the ravages of time. My hair's thinning. It's harder to lose weight, all that stuff. But I liked it. I'm just really glad I had the whatever, not bravery, but the nerve to do it.
Yeah.
Because it was hard. The Lions Tavern was a kind of a rough bar, And I was singing, and I think because I was so young and I kind of had an innocent look, everyone was nice to me, like nobody, or they would protect me, right? So,
Right. Well, it's interesting you mentioned that you're glad that you were brave enough to get up there and do it. I've been talking to a couple of musicians this past week who are you're trying to make it, right? They're where you were at back then at 17, and they're wondering, self-confidence. They're trying to build up self-confidence. What would you say? Again, is it as simple as just be brave and try to squash your fear and do it, or?
Yeah, you gotta. I was always nervous, even but a year in, I was nervous. The first set, you're always a little bit nervous, right? And I still get nervous depending on what the show is or what the venue is, but. I don't know. You have to have some kind of inner strength or belief, even if it's crazy. And you have to sort of gather your own evidence when you play. Oh, those people liked it. I can't. Maybe I'm not crazy. Maybe I'm not out of my mind for pursuing it. And it's just. But you sort of build that up, and I've never felt confident about how I look or anything like that. But at a certain point, I got enough confidence in my abilities, as a songwriter and a singer. So I know I could stand up there with my eyes closed, and people aren't expecting me to jump around or dance or anything, and they'll just come to hear the music. Oh, sorry, the phone's ringing. Should I stop it? Or?
No, we're going to take a quick break. You can take your phone call. We'll be right back. We're with Ron Sexsmith. The new album is Hermitage. You can find him on Facebook at Ron Sexsmith. And I'm going to do a commercial. So you'll have to just get that. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Here's what you're doing this weekend, Dr. D. Anybody out there that's in Canada or nearby, or even if you're here in Santa Barbara, you're in New York, you're around the world in Ireland, wherever you're at, listening to the Jeremiah Show, call up that friend who's got that private jet, jump on it, set your sights for the Canadian. Let me do that again. Set your sights for the Canada Arts Music Festival. It's presenting 3 days of music performed by Canadian musicians, no Americans. Just kidding. The festival will highlight local and national talent, including both emerging and established musical artists. The all ages event inaugurates the museum's new outdoor stage venue, Players Backstage. The festival features evening performances with a dynamic mix of singer-songwriters and musical theater performances, celebrating the community, the resilience and pride of Canadian arts. Our own special guest this hour, Ron Sexsmith, will be there. That's July 30th, August 1st through August 1st, 2021, next weekend. That's what you're doing.
Okay, we're clear.
That's a commercial there.
Yeah, let me go ahead and take care of that. Okay, real
At
quick.
the end of it, Ron, we're going to I'm going to talk to you about that, about the performance next week and the Canada Arts Music Festival. So at the very end there, so it's the last thing on their minds, and maybe you can tell what time you're going on and all that.
Okay.
Okay.
Hang on one second. Can we break that? Put that up there. Let me go ahead and take care of the commercial real quick so that
Sure.
I can put it in to the other breaks so that we get timing
Okay.
really good there. Okay, now we have.
How's the weather up there, Ron? Is it?
Oh, it's gorgeous today.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's been raining a lot, and that's been actually good too, because we planted a cedar hedge, and apparently they need lots of water. So
Oh yeah. But they grow like crazy. Have you heard how they?
Well, we're hoping it will. We're trying to grow a privacy hedge, that sort
Nice.
of gets tall and that. But no, but it's at the moment it's just beautiful. Nice breeze. It's sunny. Yeah, it's great.
Beautiful. I imagine the summers are beautiful there. Have you been to Santa Barbara?
Yeah, I played the Lobero. Is it
Oh
called
yeah,
Lobero
the
Theater Barn?
Libero. Yeah, it's right, a couple blocks from here.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I played there. I did a show with Leonard Cohen's son, Adam.
Wow.
Oh,
God.
Years,
When was
years
that? We
Oh
missed
man,
that.
it would have been early 2000s, I think.
Well,
Maybe 2002.
We definitely would take you to dinner or something if you come back.
I'm jealous
Come
of you
down.
guys are there. That's a sweet place. A friend of mine, Geraint Wynn Davies, an actor, lived in Santa Barbara for a while too. And it's funny. I don't do that well in America. There's about 6 or 7 cities where I can go and get a pretty good crowd, like all the ones you'd expect.
Mhm.
Like LA or New York or those kind of places.
I would think that you would do well here in Santa Barbara, and we'll do anything we can to promote it as much as possible. If you ever decide to come back.
Well,
I got a friend at the station here.
you got it. You know it.
I just go wherever they send me and just always hope for the best. But I haven't played America since 2015, so I'm hoping maybe if things open up next year, I can do some shows. So.
Yeah, Santa Barbara Bowl here is beautiful too.
Oh yeah.
It sounds like it would be too big for me though. If it's a bowl, is it like?
I don't know how it compares to Hollywood Bowl in terms of seating. I think there's about 5,000 seats.
Yeah, that would be way too big for me. But if there was like a songwriter club in Santa Barbara, I could play that probably. But yeah, no, I hope to get back there and yeah.
If you ever do, you let me know. Okay, we'll take care of you around town here.
Beautiful.
Almost done.
Almost done?
Yeah, I just want to get this all squared away so we can use it
straight away.
Yeah.
Dr. D, if you do get this straight before tonight, I'd rather run this show than because he's got the concert coming up instead of the American Ninja Warrior.
Oh,
when we did, we already ran a few times.
Shouldn't be a problem.
Switch it out. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ron. Being patient. We're just getting the commercial dropped in there.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
All right, that's it. Good.
Here, let me pull out your music. I want to mention what we're playing, coming and going.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do real quick here.
Here's what you're doing this weekend, Dr. D. Anybody out there that's in Canada or nearby, or even if you're here in Santa Barbara, you're in New York, you're around the world in Ireland, wherever you're at, listening to the Jeremiah Show, call up that friend who's got that private jet, jump on it, set your sights for the Canada Arts Festival.
1 second. I gotta fix something there.
Performed by Canadian musicians. No, performed by Canadian musicians.
Wait a minute, where's that? That's it.
My slip up.
Gonna fix that. Gonna fix that. Right
I-
there.
I'm really I can't see very well these days, Ron, and I have to like look close.
Yeah, my eyesight is not so great either. So my wife just got me these. They're what are they called? They're the glasses. They have distance, and then at the bottom they have reading.
Yeah, that's what I've got. But
And then they become sunglasses too. So it's pretty cool.
yeah, I get hard. It's hard for me to get used to like doing that though when I read, so I mess up on the words.
Oh,
When did you
Sorry,
when did you release Worried Song? How long ago was that?
That was from my 2017 album, The Last Rider.
I love that song.
Thank you.
Put that video up today on our page. Am I messing you up, Richard?
No. I've got it all squared away now. Okay. So now all I have to do is just place it. Well, we gotta run it. All right, let's move that over.
And Ron, Michael, and Kat, they told you how long the show goes. We got another 20 minutes or so. Is that okay with you? You have the
Fine, yeah.
time? Okay. Well, yeah, it's a nice, it just gives us a good opportunity to get to know you and get
Yeah.
into some good topics and play your
Alright.
music.
I'm just glad the Zoom is working because all day I was worrying about it, that I wouldn't be able to get it going. So,
Oh, well, you could have done phone. You could have
Yeah,
done
I
phone
guess
if you
so.
wanted, but this way your fans get to see you. By the way, you mentioned earlier about getting older and all that. I was looking through images, to post promotions on Google Images, and you honestly haven't aged that much in your photos. Honestly, I'm not.
there's a lot of really horrible photos of me out there. It's, I find a good one, and I'm always happy when I find a good one. But don't,
Paparazzi, that darn paparazzi catching you when you're having a cup of coffee in the morning.
well, people get cell phone photos and live photos, But
Yeah.
anyway, it's
Yeah.
all. I'm trying to get to a place where I don't really care anymore, where I'm not so vain about stuff like that.
Okay.
At some point, I'll be old and I'll just accept it.
All right, I'm ready to go here.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Segment 2 in 3, 2, 1. You're live.
Welcome back to the Jeremiah Show. Our special guest this hour is Ron Sexsmith. So honored to have him on the show. His new album is Hermitage. Wait, let me do that again. So I looked up, it's Hermitage or Hermitage?
I always say Hermitage.
Hermitage. Okay, that's what I used to say, but I looked up just to make sure I was pronouncing it right. Let me do.
Let's
Can I do
start
that
at
one
the
more?
top. We'll start at the
Hermitage.
top.
Hermitage.
We'll start
Yeah,
at the
that's
top.
how I've always said it.
Beginning of the segment.
Elton John played it on his show and he called it Hermitage.
Yeah, there was like 3 different pronunciations, but
Yeah.
Hermitage.
Okay.
Hermitage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hermitage.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. You're live.
Welcome back to the Jeremiah Show. Our special guest this hour is Ron Sexsmith. His new album is Hermitage. And we just came back. Actually, we took you to break with one of my favorite Ron Sexsmith songs. It's called Worried Song. And we just came back with Whatever It Takes. Now, what's really special about the soundtrack is that Ron picked it himself for this interview, for this show. He created this playlist for us. We put it together on Spotify, so you can find it on Spotify if you like the music in the show and you want to hear it in the order that it's played on the show. Go to Spotify, the Jeremiah Show. It's the black logo. The orange logo is the podcast. So check that out and pick up the new album. Ron, welcome back. I was thinking about something I wanted to ask you here. I was just thinking back about your career. Your first release, if I'm correct, was on a cassette, which means that you have been recording long enough to have recorded and released albums on at least 4 platforms in your career: cassettes, wax albums, CDs, and now streaming. Is that true, or did I miss any that you?
Well, the order is a bit different because it was originally cassettes. and then when I got signed to Interscope Records, they had stopped making vinyl. So then it was CDs. And then, vinyl has made a bit of a comeback. So for me, when I'm old, so I love vinyl. I listen to records. So I was always a little bit disappointed that I had to come out as a CD artist. But now they're finally putting a lot of my older albums on vinyl. So I hope they do all of them eventually. But it's for me, it's it's my favorite format.
I was going to ask, what's your do you have affinity for any others or sense of nostalgia for any of those?
Well, I don't mind CDs either, because at least they're round, like that makes sense to me. You could put it on, right? It still feels like a record, and you have the artwork.
Yeah, the jacket. I miss the jackets.
Yeah,
and
the liner notes.
Yeah,
liner notes, lyrics. I don't have a cell phone, right? So I'm like a dinosaur that way, and I've never downloaded a song. I've never streamed really. Sometimes people give me a link to stream something, but I just love being able to put a record on and hear the needle go down. And but again, I'm a Luddite, I guess is the term, right? That's
so is that your preferred way of listening, is with a vinyl?
Yeah, and my big fear is that someday I won't be allowed to even have a landline. I'll be forced to get a cell phone or something, and then
I was wondering why you weren't texting me back.
I wouldn't know how to do that.
That makes sense now. No cell phone, Dr. D.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're forced to get a cell phone. Do not hold out as long as you can, Ron. I'm ready to throw mine in the ocean.
You and me both.
And I'm still on AOL too, which is like,
that was my first internet service provider, AOL.
Yeah. I've been on there, same email since 1995. And,
I was on in 94.
Wow.
I didn't know it was still around. Does it still go through?
The only other guy I know who's on AOL still is the singer from that band Sparks. So
that's what he started an AOL club.
Yeah, but you have to have dial-up. You can't use the modern stuff. You have to use dial-up.
Yeah, and you need to like the ding, zing, zing.
Oh yeah, that little long drawn out.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ron,
go on.
Well, we're talking about. I remember cassettes were, I think, the first thing that I ever used to purchase. Do you remember the smell of a cassette when you would open it up? That plastic, like, really smelled good. I think better than any other form of music, vessel.
Yeah.
You don't remember that?
I remember, but it's making me think of when I used to build models in the model glue. So let's move on.
Okay. Ron, who was Claudio?
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, Claudio, when I started playing the bars, the Lions Tavern, one of the first weeks I played there was this guy, Claudio, showed up, and he was a very interesting looking guy. And he just sort of sat there quietly. And I think after the show, he came up and said some nice words. But he, at the time I was 17 and he was 27. And he just started coming to see me play. Oh, sorry. Do you need me to? No. I saw you holding up a sign there. Okay.
He was just saying peace.
I'm sorry.
2 minutes to break. You got plenty of time.
Okay, sorry. So anyway, so he's a guy that at one point he was driving out across Canada from St. Catharines all the way out to Victoria, BC. And he asked me if I wanted to go with him. And I'd never been anywhere before. And it was kind of, again, a bit brave, because here's this guy I don't really know, and I'm about to get in the car and drive across the country with him. but I learned a lot from him, because when we finally got out to Victoria, he brought all his records, and he had all these records I'd never heard before, like John Prine and all these people, Van Morrison, and
good taste.
So the whole time I was out there, I just was exploring his record collection. We used to have a little duo where we'd sing songs at open stages. And, but he was just one of those guys. There was another fellow at the same time named Randy. He was also an older guy. He was in his 30s, that I also learned a lot. For some reason, I was hanging out with these old guys. I'm 17, but I was just trying to kind of pick up, as much information, about music that I could.
Yeah. Well, I think that says a lot about your intelligence in writing as a lyricist, a songwriter. want that desire to learn and be around, learn what you could from people that maybe been there before.
It was actually Claudio too that got me to go tree planting, because he had been going every season. And it's funny, I haven't seen him in years, but there was a time when we saw a lot of each other. So
I used to live up in northern Idaho, and we used to cut hop poles, but I've never. What is tree planting? Just like replacing and replenishing the forest?
Reforestation. It was kind of like, the show MASH. I'd go up there with there was about 30 of us crew, and there was a cooking crew and everything. And, we'd plant a certain area, then we'd have to tear down and go to the next area. And there was a big kind of circus tent in the middle of where we were camping. And that's where, at the end of the day, I would sing for people, or we'd have dinners there. That's where the food was. And it was the hardest work I've ever done in my life. It was like 10-hour days of just the horrible elements and black flies and trying to make money so I could make a demo, which was insane. But
what a neat story, though. Planting trees to make a demo.
Yeah.
That's how Ron Sexsmith started out and got his first demo recorded. That's a pretty cool story.
Yeah.
It almost was it romantic at all? And meaning, out under the stars and days hard work and feeling good that you'd accomplished that, even though it was maybe a little bit miserable. Yeah,
it was definitely a good. It was just good for my backbone or something to do it. I mean, every now and then you'd have these moments where you go, you'd look out, you'd be on a hill overlooking this amazing forest, and it was romantic in a way, because that's where I met my first partner, Jocelyn, and then we ended up having my kid, Christopher, and then Evelyn later. But so again, it's kind of like playing the bars. I look back on it, so glad I did it. It was hard. Would never want to do it again. But
part of who you are. Did you write any song, any music out there?
I was trying to. I remember, because after I got back, I started playing the bars again, and I would try to play some of my new songs, and nobody wanted to hear them. They would just go over like a lead balloon. But like,
but then hits.
Yeah. Well, they just wanted to hear CCR, Neil Young, whatever I was playing. So, but it was around that time I started thinking I have to move to Toronto, because to backtrack a bit, I made a demo after I got back from tree planting, a 4-song demo, and my older brother Don, unbeknownst to me, started shopping it around the record companies in Toronto. And so when I was living in Quebec, I actually got a letter from a record company, and it was a really encouraging letter. And that's when I remember telling my partner Jocelyn, I think I should go to Toronto and to have a go, try to make it as a songwriter. And that was one of the initial, things that made me think, well, maybe I could do this. Maybe I could write songs.
Well, thank God you did. And definitely you can do this. This next song we're going to listen to as we go to break is by Ron Sexsmith as well. It's Whatever Shape Your Heart Is In. We're talking this hour with Ron Sexsmith. Before he was the artist, the singer, the songwriter that we know and love, he was a tree cowboy in Canada. We'll be right back.
All right, you're clear. Stand by and get all this set up, and then we'll continue on.
Oh, this is good stuff, Ron. I love it. I love the stories.
And sorry about he was holding up 2 fingers. I forgot what I was supposed to do in that.
That's just 2 minutes until
nothing.
break. It's 2 minutes to break, 1 minute to break, and then 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'll get it next time. Yeah, I understand.
But it's your show, so you go long if you need to.
That's right.
We'll move on our side. We'll move the commercials. We don't even like commercials.
That's right.
I'm just going over. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see who was trying to call me when I was on the phone.
If you got to make a call, we can wait.
No, I was just going to check my messages. Might have been my manager or something.
Is Michael your manager?
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
Since 93.
Wow.
You never know.
That's
the Carson show might have called.
The Carson show. The Carson show.
That's right. The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. Yeah. Oh, too close to your microphone.
Is that me?
That's you.
How would that be me? Oh, the headphones?
The headphones and the microphone. Yeah.
Oh, okay, we're good. Sorry about that. We're good.
No problem.
Well, I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, you're live.
Welcome back to the Jeremiah Show. Ron Sexsmith is our guest all hour. We just came back in with Not About to Lose. I took you out actually with two songs. Ron, I played Death of a Ladies Man. I did Death of a Ladies Man. We played the trailer. I know you're big Leonard Cohen fan. And we also played, we're going to play the version that you did at the next commercial, The Death of a Ladies Man, performed by you. So we brought that in there as well on top of your playlist, your soundtrack. Okay, so tell us about meeting Bob Wiseman.
Oh, wow. Well, Bob Wiseman was in a band called Blue Rodeo they're still a big band up in Canada. They never quite cracked it in America. But when I moved to Toronto, I was going to all the open stages. That's what you do when you're a songwriter. And I met Bob at the very first one I ever went to, but I didn't know who was in Blue Rodeo, so I didn't recognize him. I didn't know who he was or anything. But at the time, he was using his money to help a lot of sort of unknown songwriters record. And, and he was in the process of he was working on about 4 or 5 albums for different songwriters. So there was a bit of a queue, and I was, it was great that he sort of took me under his wing and got me into the studio, and he was paying for it himself because I didn't have any money. And we eventually made this record called Grand Opera Lane. It took a few years because, like I say, there was some people before me that he was working with. But the guy, I'm kind of forever in his debt because he shopped it around in Canada. I got nothing but rejection. And then he shopped it down in LA to some people he knew there, Geffen Records. And that was really the start of things happening for me and doors opening. So I kind of owe so much to him. So yeah, I don't know where I would be if he hadn't sort of come along.
I love your album Retriever, which you dedicated to Elliott Smith and Johnny Cash, both artists I love so much. Why did you decide to dedicate an album to them? And then if you wouldn't mind telling us a little bit about your relationship with Elvis Costello.
Oh, well, I had dedicated that album to Elliott and Johnny Cash because they both passed away the year that I was making that record. And I had met Elliott Smith a few times, once in London, England, and once at the Roosevelt Hotel in Hollywood. And he was always really nice, kind of shy, and I'm sort of the same way, because sometimes you meet people and they're kind of jerks, but he was really, my impression was just he was a really sort of kind person. And Elvis Costello is someone, again, my album had come out, my debut record had come out in North America only in 95. And it was dying a slow death. No one was playing it. The record company hated it. And around December of that year, I was about to be dropped by my label when out of the blue, Elvis Costello over in England held it up on the cover of a magazine called Mojo.
Oh, wow.
And that saved my life. It changed everything.
Wow.
Because Elvis, yeah. So I don't know, again, it's kind of like Bobby Wiseman. I don't know where I would be had he not done that. But what it did, it forced the label to get my album released overseas, where I was able to find my audience. They hired this woman who was the head of international, who really loved my record. And so for most of 96, I traveled the world with her, doing showcases, meeting journalists and all that kind of stuff. And so it was very vindicating, to after a year of the label telling me I was crap and, I should have listened to them and stuff, to finally having this record that not that it sold that well, but it was on all the.
But it got noticed and by some big people in the business.
Yeah, and all the critics were into it. So.
You know what? That's just, if that's not a message for those artists out there right now that are thinking, can I make it? Should I make it? Should I enjoy music? Should I do what I love to do? If that's not, just keep trying, right? I wanted, Ron, your photo shoots. Like I said, I was going through looking for photos of you for various social media promotion for this show. Your photos seem to suggest to me that you have a very playful spirit, that you're almost, even though your music is serious, your lyrics are serious, that you're almost poking fun at yourself a little bit. You're not taking yourself too seriously, but you always have a straight, kind of a serious face, but you're
Yeah.
doing something kind of fun.
Are you
And so,
referring to the latest album cover? Is that what you're?
well, the latest album cover is a perfect example, but there are others. And then I was reading through your Twitter feed, and you're very funny, really funny. So, you know, is this true of you? Do you believe in being silly, having fun, taking, you know, being lighthearted? Is that a part of who you are?
Yeah, I mean, there was a documentary this guy did about me a few years ago, and it was so dour and so sad sack, and it was like he was out to tell this really sad story, and it bothered me because my band, you know, they're the funniest guys in the world, and when we're on tour, we're just laughing our heads off all the time. But there's no evidence of that in the movie. It's just so, and you know, so when I got on Twitter, the record company recommended I do Twitter because I didn't want anything to do with it. I was like, I remember thinking, what am I supposed to do with Twitter?
How do you do Twitter without a phone?
Well, I do. Yeah, I do it on my laptop.
Oh, okay.
And I realized that because I always had these dumb. I'm a big fan of Groucho Marx and Jack Benny and people like that.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah. So I have this Twitter account, and so all of a sudden I had this outlet for these stupid jokes I'm always torturing my band with. So I started to tweet them out. And I do also other things on Twitter, like archival photos and stuff. And it just kind of took off. And it was kind of like whenever I see a good photo, I might post it to counter all the bad ones out there. So it was a way to sort of counter this image of that I'm some melancholy person, whatever, which has never been really accurate. So,
and always remember what Jack Benny used to say. You've got to practice even to be bad, Rochester.
Yeah,
we opened a can of worms with Dr. D. He likes the old comedians. You guys could probably do them back and forth for a little while here. Yeah. All right, we got to take our last break, right, Dr. D? Our very last break. We're going to come back and finish out strong here with Ron Sexsmith. The new album is Hermitage. Pick it up everywhere you can find great music. Type it in and Ron Sexsmith, you'll find it. You can also go to facebook.com, Ron Sexsmith, and pick it up there, or there's a link to get to it. All right, we'll be right back. Stick with us. Ron Sexsmith.
All right, stand by.
All right, this is the last one, Ron.
Well, it's been fun.
Me too, I agree. Really appreciate all the time you gave us. All right, just tell me when you're ready.
All right, just about there.
Okay.
I also love a lot of the Woody Allen jokes.
Yeah, I mean he was a great the great one-liners.
Oh yeah, I love the one he told about how he was home from college one day, and this big black car drove up in front of his house, and this guy got out and said. He says, yeah, you know, if you'll come with me, I'll give you candy and all kinds of good stuff, and we'll go have some fun. Actually, the line is supposed to be after that. Well, I was home from college that day, so I went with him. And of course, he was kidnapped, and his father fell asleep reading the ransom note. All right, here we go.
Here we go.
In 3, 2, 1, you're live.
Welcome back to the Jeremiah Show. We're having fun here with Dr. D and Ron Sexsmith. Ron, I've only got 9 minutes left, and I'm going to make the most of those real quickly here because I want to talk about the new album and the tour, or the live event next weekend up in Canada. But first, before we get there, one of my favorite songs in Fleetwood Mac's is "Never Going Back Again," and those lyrics are, I'll just give you a couple of them. You don't know what it means to win. Been down one time, been down 2 times. I'm never going back again. And then, so in your song, Ron, Not About to Lose, which we just played, it almost seems to have a ring of maybe there's a little bit of desperation or determination, and more importantly, optimism for you not to lose again. And a couple of your lyrics are, if I were to listen to my doubts, I'd think my time was running out, but I'm old enough to do it and young enough to do it again. I'm not about to lose. I'm not about to lose this feeling that I found. What are you referring to?
I guess it was a feeling of optimism. I guess that I, this which happens every now and then, where you feel like things are happening or going your way.
Mm-hmm.
And that song was very much inspired by the band Coldplay, because I was opening up for them and I would watch them every night. And I noticed that they would have these big choruses in their song.
Yeah.
And it made me think that I didn't have any choruses in any of my songs. I tended to write refrains or something, you know.
Uh-huh.
And I remember thinking, well, my next album, I'm going to have some choruses, you know, because it seemed to me that was the whole secret to success. And I remember one day I was in my dressing room and I was writing Not About to Lose, and I was singing the chorus, and it just felt so good to sing. I felt empowered just singing it.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a knock on the door, and it was Chris Martin, and he was like, "Yeah, what's that you're working on?" And I said, "Well, it's this new song I'm writing." And he said, something like, "Keep it up. It sounds like a hit." And it wasn't really a hit. I mean, in Canada, it got into the top 20, but it was the start of a new type of songwriting for me.
Huh.
And pretty much from then on, I've had, you know, songs that have, I think, pretty decent choruses. And, and so that was kind of the first one, really. So.
Oh, wow. Great. So tell us about the new album next. You know, where was it made? What inspired it? Who's on it? You know, who do you tell us all about it?
Well, you know, my wife and I, we moved to Stratford from Toronto in 2017. And again, it was almost like, you know, when I wrote my first songs, there was all this change, because I'd lived in Toronto for 30 years. And so there was this enormous upheaval coming here to this small town. And I never owned a house before, so that was big. And I just started writing all these songs. I didn't know anybody, so a lot of my first year was kind of alone. So I'd walk every day and I wrote. I mean, the songs are all very kind of domestic bliss oriented and a kind of inner peace type feeling. But the album itself was produced actually right here in this house where I am. My drummer, Don, brought his entire recording studio up in his station wagon. We set up the whole house like, you know, we had cables running everywhere. And yeah, so we did most of the tracking here. And once we got the bed tracks, we moved to Toronto and worked at his studio on and off over the course of 2018 until we finished it. But I mean, took a long time because it's me playing everything you hear on the record is me, except for drums. So, and I never want to do that again. That was like way too much work.
A lot of work.
But it was his idea. He thought I should try to make one of those sort of McCartney type albums where he plays everything. And so that's what I was trying to do.
Is that what you did over quarantine?
Quarantine hadn't started yet.
Oh, it hadn't?
Because it was 2018. Yeah. Oh. So, I mean, this album came out right at the beginning of the pandemic. And there was even a minute there where we thought, well, maybe we shouldn't put it out because, you know, what's the point?
Wouldn't get that.
So, but I'm really glad we did, because it is a very kind of happy album. And I think if it was a sad record, we maybe wouldn't have put it out. So.
Explain the feather pink boa that you're wearing on the cover. I love that. Mowing the lawn.
Well, that was sort of a happy accident, because I do actually cut. We have this big lawn, and I cut it with a push mower, not a gas one, just an old fashioned.
Yeah, I used to use those at my grandpa's house.
Yeah. Well, I just love the sound. They're not noisy, and anyway, these people were passing by when I was cutting the grass, and you know, they said they had made some remark like, you know, your house is known as the celebrity house in Stratford, which I don't know. I just thought that was ridiculous, because you know, there's some famous actors that live here, and but when he said that, automatically I could see the album cover for my next record. I thought, you know, I wanted to play like I was an eccentric rock star cutting his grass with a feather boa.
That's great.
Almost like an homage to Elton John and all that stuff. So, and I just thought people would find it so ridiculous, me doing that, you know. But but it gave me it gave me a sort of an idea.
It's a great album cover. Yeah. I love it.
Tops.
Okay, we got to go in a couple minutes, but before we do, tell Tell us about the upcoming live performances next weekend, July 31st through, or is it this weekend, 31st or the 1st? Wow, it's already here. See, we've been on the radio it went so fast talking to Ron that a week went by since we started the show.
Well, they have a new venue, an outdoor venue here. It's behind this place called the Stratford Museum, where actually they have the Justin Bieber exhibit in their permanent installation kind of thing. Mm. But they built this little, it looks almost like a barn out back with seating for, I think maybe 200 or something, or 300. And and I'm the first one. So I'm going to kick it off on the 30th. And
what time do you go on?
I think I'm on at like 7.
Okay.
Doors are at 6 and I'm on at 7 for about 70 minutes or an hour or something. Wow. And it's just a solo show. And it'll just be nice to play because it's been a while. I mean, I did last year before the third lockdown we were in. I was doing a local residency gig at this place called Revival House in Stratford twice a month. And it was just amazing to play for real people. And so I'm looking forward to it. You know, I hope people will be entertained. I always find playing outdoor shows a bit stressful because in an indoor show you really have everyone's attention. Mm-hmm. Outside there's cars going by and there's bugs flying around and stuff, so it's hard to, you know what I mean? So I hope it's okay. So.
Don't swallow one.
Don't. No.
All right, Ron. Hey, before I sign off, I wanted to dedicate this show to Kat, who has left the grinding radio schedule at Jeremiah Show, but she booked Ron. And Ron, I've known Kat for over 25 years. Your CD is always in her iPod or in her CD player. She loves you. And so just a little shout out to Kat. We thank you for booking Ron. Yeah, thank you for booking Ron. And then my last thing, I'll leave it here. In my book, personally, Ron, you have really made it. You're very humble about how well known you are, but you are well known and loved. And the final question, do you think you've made it? And was that ever important to you?
I think, yeah, I mean, I feel that all my dreams have come true. You know, mm-hmm. I've met a lot of my heroes. I headlined Royal Albert Hall, and so that's, had breakfast with McCartney. And so in some ways, I mean, yeah, I'm not a household name, but I feel I never, by the time I got signed, I was already 30, which is kind of old for the music. So, my expectations were not as big as other people. Like some people, they'll say, "Oh, why aren't you playing the Enorma Dome somewhere?" I never had aspirations to do that. So yeah, I think I've made it. I think, sometimes I wish I would have made a little more money or something. There's just always a financial stress about things.
Hint, to go buy Ron's new album.
There you go.
Right now. Don't do anything else. Go get that album. Let's get him an electric mower.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Ron Sexsmith. Again, he's playing this weekend, July 31st to the 1st. Are you doing every night, Ron? Did you already say that? I'm sorry if I missed it.
Just the one night on
just the one night. Okay. At 7:00, should be going on stage. Get there early. And we're going to give you all the information here at the break one more time. Ron Sexsmith, please come back and have a great performance this weekend.
Yeah, I hope to talk to you again. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Ron.
Cheers.
Listen more, communicate, and evolve. Have a great week, everybody. You want to have him do
yes.
Ron, can you do a real quick radio drop promo?
By.
What do I say?
Promote your album. I would say something like, this is Ron Sexsmith. I'm listening to the Jeremiah Show. And you can pick up my new album, Hermitage, blah, blah, here.
Okay.
And we'll drop this in all future shows for the year. I'll put it in all year. So you'll get a lot of promo.
All right.
The album.
All right.
And then you got the recording going? Great.
Yeah, I still have the video going. I'm going to just lock this
and then
down.
We got to go right after that, Ron. Sorry, we got another 2:00 show.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Ron, I'm going to count you down.
Okay.
In 3, 2, 1.
Hi, this is Ron Sexsmith on the Jeremiah Show, and I'd like you all to check out my latest record. It's called Hermitage, and you can find it wherever you find all the other albums you like, and hopefully you'll enjoy it too. All right. Take care.
Excellent.
Beautiful.
Got
beautiful. So I realized I've been pronouncing it like Elton John the whole time.
No, yeah, there's no right way. There's no
Okay,
right.
sorry.
That's right.
Hopefully they find it.
They will.
Thank you, Ron. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Great. Thank
good
you.
Right. I'm gonna
All right.
turn
Bye.
this
All right.
off now. Right. Bye.
All right.
I'm gonna grab some water.
Go ahead.
Do we have anybody waiting for us?
Yes.
Joseph.
Yep.
Come on in, Joseph.
Okay, there's that. Save this over here. 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 Mm-hmm.
That was a good interview.
Mm-hmm.
How are you? Good. How'd your midterm go?
20 questions.
You got it.
I think I missed one, maybe two, but
It was cool in here, or am I just hot from talking?
Oh, you're just hot.
Hot from talking.
You're just hot.
Because I'm in a sweater and a jacket. Could be.
Take that off of there, do this, and let's get our next guest in, and I can
Is
take
Cam
care of
there?
this. I believe, yes.
Yes. Yes.
All right, let's let him in. There we go. He's coming.
Cam Anthony, he's there.
so should I be?
Oh, on your laptop.
What's that?
You're gonna. Oh, we only have one mic though.
Yeah.
Oh, use my headset.
You can sit next to me if you want.
Okay.
Then we can share the mic when we're ready. Hey, Cam,
Hi, how are
how you doing, man? I'm Jeremiah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So honored to have you on. So great to have you on. Thank you for taking the time. I know you're recording a new single. Yeah.
And now we have
How's it going,
Lewis's.
Lewis? It's Mr. Jones.
Is he part of this?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
did not know that.
Well, so I'll tell the story when we get here.
Oh, he
Cam,
just
so
dropped off.
well, that's Dr. D with the hat. He's our sound engineer. He'll check your sound and all that and,
Mhm.
and video. We are recording video
That's
and
right.
audio.
Okay.
We're going to give you, Dr. D will give you this, like a peace sign. That means 2 minutes to break.
Okay.
He's going to go 1 minute to our commercial break. We've got 3 commercial breaks. He'll go 1 minute and then this is 30 seconds. So just in case you're in the middle of a story, just so you kind of know where we're going. If
And
he
so-
holds his finger up, don't get distracted. I mean, just know he's starting, we're getting close to a break.
Right.
Okay. I understand the signals. I'm pretty sure I didn't see anyone on the screen though.
Oh, okay. 2 minutes. Can you see us now?
But I don't see anyone else but Mr. Jones.
Oh, really?
Huh?
Oh, maybe
Wait a
you
minute.
got to move your,
Are you on your computer?
maybe your view, your
You need to go
gallery.
to gallery view.
iPad. Oh, here we are. Okay, perfect.
And Mr. Jones is not here yet. That's what's
Oh,
weird.
I'm sorry.
But you
Wrong.
see, well, yeah, this is
Richard.
Jeremiah, Richard with a hat.
Right? This.
Rich.
And then this is Joseph, your biggest fan.
Hey there.
Well, actually, and Lewis is your fan too. So is Lewis not on yet?
Not yet. He
Okay,
was
let me-
there and then dropped off.
He knocked off.
Yeah.
Where did my phone go? I'll give him a shit.
Readjust your camera. You just moved your.
Yeah, well, hold on.
yeah.
Get a hold of Lewis. He
Yes.
did come in though.
Well, he did, and then he went out. So
I think I left my phone in my car, which is good.
lucky you.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there forever. So Cam, man, how's life after winning The Voice? What incredible.
It's been pretty crazy, honestly. It's been a nice roller coaster though, I would say.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty cool. I was able to go back to Philly and perform for the Wawa Festival that they have every year. And that was a great time. I was able to perform with my previous dance company, actually, JYSD. So that was pretty cool too. So it's been a pretty cool welcome. from
Yeah.
everyone.
Lewis.
How many radio shows are you doing? There's Mr. Jones.
Yeah,
You doing a lot of radio?
there he went.
I've been, honestly, it's too many to count. My first week out, I had to do at least 50 interviews. So it was
Wow.
You're like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do any more radio. This will be your best one though. Watch.
And
You're
now
gonna have
we
more. You'll have the
have
most fun here.
Joseph.
for sure.
All right, Joseph is coming in.
Oh, okay.
And
All
yeah,
right.
he'll come in on video and then we'll just share the mic.
Yeah. Joseph, make sure you turn your mic off on Zoom.
All right, we're almost ready, Cam.
All right.
Just about
What's
there.
the single? Can you say?
I
Gotta
cannot.
turn up your.
That's not me.
Uh,
That one.
actually, it
Yeah.
is.
That's it.
There you go. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, I don't see you, but that's fine.
No,
That's okay.
There he is.
All right. Good.
And Lewis, we're gonna get started without Lewis. So let's just go because
All right.
Cam's a busy man.
That's right. All right.
You don't want to keep this guy. He's got to get back and
All
make
right,
some good
stand
music.
by. Stand by one.